Alright, so we're gonna begin aga-cad's webinar, 9 easy steps to faster project documentation in Revit for structural engineers. And that's me. My name is Liudvikas Usonis. I'm a BIM application engineer at aga-cad. Here, I'm responsible for product development like precast concrete, smart assemblies, and smart connections. I'm educated as architectural technologist, and I have various experience working on BIM projects all over the world's continents. Also, I'm a certified Revit professional. For today's agenda, I'll begin with introduction, with a brief introduction about aga-cad. Also, I'll talk about tools and toolset variety, which is provided by aga-cad. Then we're gonna jump into live demonstration, and we'll finish this webinar with questions, or if you have any comments, you can type them any type you want. We can have a short discussion at the end of this webinar. aga-cad has more than 30 years of experience in BIM construction field. We create tools to automate different processes in Revit. We automate modeling, data management, and documentation tasks. Our tools could be grouped by discipline and adjusted or customized to various needs. We are the world's widest range of applications for Autodesk Revit developers. We've developed many kinds of different software and tool sets for Revit, which are wood and metal framing solutions, precast concrete toolset, also MEP systems, and our latest new toolset is a smart documentation. Today we're gonna go a bit deeper into this toolset. In this webinar, we are going to run through the abilities of Smart Documentation Toolset. We'll begin with structural element marking. You'll see how easy and fast we'll mark multiple category elements. Later on, we'll create shop drawings for structural elements with structural connections and rebars. We'll automatically dimension numbers of elements in multiple sheets and place dimensions for floor plans with all the necessary information on sheets. So that will be legends, schedule, and so on. You'll see how lots of different category families are tagged and dimensioned just in a few seconds. Also how simple it is to design multiple element legends, as well how fast and simply we can import Excel data into Revit. Alright, so I'm gonna open up Revit model right now. And I want to begin with the introduction of tools for BIM doc. So we have developed this doc for our clients that they could control their tools. And control, I mean that you can check if there's any updates, if you want to install or uninstall some kind of tool, or you can follow up just some latest news about our tools. So we have this tools for BIM doc to observe your tools and all tools which are provided by aga-cad. And now we are going to drag out Smart Documentation Toolset. Alright, so we'll begin with simple things, for example, like numbering structural elements. Right, so I'm gonna select all of these structural foundation. And if you want to mark every of these elements, like entering some kind of mark value, typical workflow is to select it and like to enter some kind of value, right? You select next one, you enter value, and you do that for all of these structural foundation elements. And the thing is that this information, it's not like 1, 2, and so on. It should be some kind of certain information which will be related to your project, which, for example, would indicate a location of a foundation or a grid line location and so on. So now imagine me doing that for all of these structural foundations. And once I'm done with foundation, I have to do the same workflow for walls, Also, I have walls on the second floor, I have columns, beams, and that can take a lot of time. It can take half a day, 1 day, depends on the project scale. And also there is a possibility of mistakes, that you can enter some kind of data, wrong data. And our solution is to solve this in just a matter of seconds. So we can use numbering and tags ability. We are going to select element numbering, and I'll pick mark. We can choose different parameters, but in this case I'll pick mark, press OK. And now I'm selecting what information will be reflected in the mark value parameter. Alright, so I'm going to choose XY positions and press OK. And that's it. I have all of these foundations marked with a certain value. So I have mark value for this one, and all of these foundations are marked. Alright, and as I said, we can do that for multiple elements. We can do that for wall elements, beams, and columns at once. So I'm going to choose batch numbering ability. Here I have configurations, and I'm going to pick all of these, press OK, and now a tool is adding values to these elements, and we can check these mark values. So I have 1 stands for a level, so this wall is at level 1. E stands for exterior, W3 is a wall, and 3 is just a number of this element, and we have different number for this one. This one also have interior wall, and mark value is rated. And here we have I, which stands for interior wall and a specific number. So we have also a unique number for second floor wall elements. As you can see, we have 2, which stands for level, and so on. Okay, also I marked all columns. So I'm gonna pick this column, maybe this one. Alright, and yeah, here we have 300 is the level where this column is, and D1 is a grid line location. So all of these columns are marked according to that information, and we can see that level, C1, and so on. Alright, also same situation for these beams. Yeah, so I have just a grid line location, and all of these beams are marked accordingly to the configurations. Okay. To summarize, you can enter any kind of parameters, like which would reflect in your mark value, because we have, like, for example, I'm going to select walls, and there is this list that would indicate in your mark value. So that would be it for now with numbering and tags. Or I have actually one more sample, and I'm gonna open a different model, this one. So I have a simple structure, and I have these wall elements, right? I'm gonna switch on the floor plan. Right, here we have, I want that these elements would be marked according to my model line. So I'm gonna place a model line, offset, and okay, I need to catch to this. Right, so now I have this model line, and according to this model line, I'm gonna mark all of these elements, and now I want to tag them that you would be able to see the result. And yeah, so I'm using now a different ability, tag elements, and yeah, it automatically tags all of the wall elements, and you can see That's not what I wanted to do actually, because I want to, oh, okay, so I want to change this mark value because I want that this will be 1, 2, 3, and so on, wall elements. So I'm gonna go to numbering and tags, element numbering, and I want to choose ability that would tag elements according to model line. Here I have these configurations. Press OK, select model line, elements are renumbered. Yeah, okay, so from this side I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on, all elements marked according to the model line. Yeah, and you just saw how quickly we can adjust the numbering using our tools. Alright, so let's come back to this model. Here I want to demonstrate you assembly views ability, which creates shop drawings automatically for different kind of Revit elements. And yeah, so we can see we can create shop drawings for walls, columns, beams, foundation, parts, and so on. So we'll begin with simple sample, like we have this wall, and I'm gonna press create assemblies. And now I have this list of configurations. I'm gonna choose these configurations, and briefly I'll show you what these configurations contains. So we have these views, and we can create as many views as we want for a single element. I don't need that many. Oh no, this one, delete. All right, and we can choose the dimension configurations, how we want to dimension our selected element. Also, we can choose a view template, what kind of view settings we want to have for that view. Also, we can choose to have tags. There is lots of possibilities actually how you can design shop drawings automatically. And for this sample, I have quite simple configurations. And just in a moment, you'll see how automatically we are going to create shop drawings for this single wall element. You can choose actually multiple wall elements and to create assemblies at once automatically. Alright, we have shop drawings created for this element, and now this assembly name is followed by mark value. So we have front view, and as you can see, every family is dimensioned according to the configurations. So we have nodes, we have ordinate dimensions, we have dimensioned opening, and so on. And for all of these views, dimensioning style, and in this case, dimensioning strings, as you can see, we're snapping in the middle of a family element. We can adjust that dimensioning strings would snap at the edges, at the reference planes, and so on. Also, we have this gravity point, which calculates the centroid, elements centroid. Okay, so we can place views for now. And I'm going to do this only for single time. What I mean that I'm just going to place views right now. And this will be my template for other shop drawings, which I'm going to create automatically. Alright, also have schedules. It can be not only schedules, we can choose to have legends as well. Alright, and this one, let's say right here. Now let's go back to the configurations briefly to set this sheet layout as a template. And where are my configurations? Okay, it's right here. So we go into the sheets, select this sheet as a template sheet, press save and close. And now we have completely finished our configurations to fully create shop drawings. Okay, I want to come back to 3D view now. Right here. Okay, so we have this assembly, and now I want to create shop drawings for this wall element. And same workflow, select wall element, select configurations, and press create. Now I can instantly just open the sheet and all views will be placed, all the dimensions will be placed as well, identically to the first sheet. And also we'll have schedules and other information. So let's see, it's 1EW3. Let's find that right here, straight to the sheet, and we have the sheet created. Okay, the next thing is that if we have some kind of changes to our wall element, for example, I want to have another opening here, I want to have more of these families, like here for example, here, and actually you can add as many families as you want into your wall element. So typically what I would do now without assembly views ability, I would need to go again to dimension these openings, to recalculate centroid, to redimension everything, and so on and so on. But having assembly views, I can just press update assemblies, and that will be done automatically, meaning that I don't need to do all that manual work again. Also, it's not just for a single assembly, we can choose multiple assemblies, and those assemblies can be updated as well at once. Okay, we can just jump straight into the sheet again, and as you can see, we have opening dimensioned horizontally and vertically. We have also these additional families dimensioned, and that updated in all of these views automatically using update assemblies function. We can use assembly views also for beams, as I mentioned before, but now we need to choose different configurations, and which are configured for beam elements. So I'll pick beam configurations, press create, and here I have rebars in this beam, and I want to have a view which would have rebar dimension. That means that I will have more views for this beam, and I need to, okay, let's open up a sheet. So I didn't set any sheet template right now for beam configurations, therefore I don't have any views here, but I'm gonna place these views, and yeah, so the same process, just for a different element. Alright, I'm gonna just place these views, and they have also schedules, like this schedule and this schedule. So this schedule is the rebar schedule, and I don't have any A, B, C values, because I can create images which would reflect those values in this schedule, and that those images can be generated like selecting the beam. Right, I'm gonna press tab a few times just to be sure that it's a beam, not assembly. Alright, and now I'm gonna choose images and select rebar images by host. So now I have images generated, and we can go back to the schedule and we can see that we have images generated with dimensions. So these images, they can be generated according to your needs. We have configurations for them. You can choose background color, line color, and other different settings. Alright, we can move on to a different sample where I want to show you a views functionality. which is right here. And here I'll show you this. So I have this part of a building, right? And I have these structural connections. What I want to do now is to create views for these structural connections. So I'm going to select them like that. I'm going to load a selection filter. And now I'll use views ability. So I'm going to create single element views for all of these families. And the thing is that we don't need to create any assembly to have these views created. So I selected 4 structural connection families, and tool will create multiple views for all of these families. Yeah, we have them created, and we can quickly run through these views. They're also dimensioned, forgot to mention that. So as you can see, we have this element views, this for this, and for this one, it's not dimensioned for some kind of reason. Alright, and I'm gonna just shut down all of these windows. Since now I have many of these views created, I want to place them on sheet right now. And I can do that using sheets ability. Gonna go to distribute views on sheet configurations. Okay. And here I need to filter out my views. So I'm gonna pick detail views. I'll choose the discipline, which is coordination. And here I have my views displayed in this list. So I'm gonna press Ctrl A, select all of these views. Then I'll pick layout rule. I'm gonna name this sheet as con for now. We can choose title block, we can choose distances from title block, left, right, top, bottom, and so on. So it's very simple. Now place views on the sheets. Views are placed. We are going to a sheet, and we have these views placed on this single sheet, as you can see. One more thing about views, configurations. These configurations are quite similar. They're way more simpler than assembly views configurations. So yeah, here we can create as many views as we want for each element, and we can choose again dimension rule and view template and other things for our element, how we want to dimension that element. Yeah, so it's a perfect tool to create views for a single element, which saves lots of your time. And also you can use dimensioning rules to place dimensions for these elements. Alright, next sample. Yeah, I'm gonna show this sample, and here I have this Revit model where I have many of steel joists at this level, and at the top I have trusses. Now I want to measure these elements. So what I do typically, I select dimensioning, and I want to dimension center, right, from wall to the joist. I need to press tab, I need to catch the middle of this joist, and I'm gonna do that for this floor plan, for another, and so on. And that will take lots of time to do. But using quick dimensions, we can do that with few clicks. I'll begin with grid lines. So I'm going to choose dimensioning from this point to this point. Here I have dimensions. Very simple. From this point to this point. Oh, misclicked. Okay, but still works. And now I want to dimension these joists. So I'm going to select from that point and to this point. All the joists are dimensioned from center to center, from wall to the joist. Alright, we can jump into the next floor plan. Here I can do the same from this point to this point. Insert dimensions. Again, Right, we have them. Now we have also joists right here. Very simple tool to use. We have another floor plan from here till here. So I think you get the principle how we can dimension quickly these joists. Yeah, maybe I'm pressing too fast. And at the top we have trusses. So we can dimension them as well using this tool. And now I want to place these views again on a sheet, on separate sheets. So I'm gonna choose sheets, manage sheets. Oh, I forgot. First I need to place a level on a single sheet. So I'm gonna select level 0. And let's say right here, gonna remove the viewport. Right, and now I want to add also some schedules. One schedule right here, and another schedule right here. No, not these schedules actually, because we don't have anything, any information. So, one schedule right here, another right here. Okay, now I can place the rest of the views on sheets like I did right here automatically. I mean, I can place them automatically. So I'm gonna go to sheets, manage sheets, select create new sheets, and now I need to select from this list what kind of views I want to place on separate sheets. I'm going to choose level 1, and I need to make sure that discipline is architectural. So these 3. And what else? I want to have schedules as well. And these 2 schedules. Gonna press OK. OK, once more. Gonna select this. Some selections right here to have those sheets placed. Alright, okay. And I can name them. I'm gonna just stick with unnamed. Alright, just a few seconds and we have them placed. And we can go straight to those sheets. And here we have this floor plan placed with schedules, this, and this. Okay. That would be it for this sample. I'm gonna just shut down all the views. And let's move on to the next sample, which is section 5. And here, in this section, I have columns, beams, structural connections, and I want to place tags for these elements. I can do that automatically using numbering and tags ability. And I'm thinking to show you what kind of elements we can tag. It's not only what we have in this view, so the possibilities of this tool are vast, and you can use like many kind of different families to be tagged. So I'm gonna choose configurations, these, and now my tags will be placed automatically using tag elements ability. Okay, I have tags for these beams, I have tags for these openings, but I have question marks right here because tag value comes from mark value, and I need to place marks for these elements, right? And I can do that using batch numbering. So I'm gonna select these configurations, press OK, and the elements will have mark value. Okay, all right. Yeah, I can see that we have some tags which overlaps, and that's not a big issue because we can solve that just simply deleting and tagging elements again. The these abilities are very fast, and as you can see, it doesn't take a lot of time to fix something if you done something wrong. Alright, so we have this column, and I've created mark value, which is PCD14. PC is a precast concrete, T1 is a grid line location, 4 is a level where this column is located. And yeah, I've created also mark value for structural connections and columns. Now we can jump into the column plan. And here, yeah, so I have these columns already marked and tagged. As you can see, I have two columns at the same place. So this C41 is a column at level 1, C44 is column at level 4. What I want to do here, I want to place dimensions automatically, which would dimension grid lines and columns. So I'll pick the predefined dimensions, and this tool is developed to dimension lots of different kind of families, and we're constantly developing this tool to dimension that we would have more flexibility, dimensioning different kind of, in different ways. Anyway, we have columns and grid lines, so I want to place dimensions for them. So I'm going to press dimension elements, choose configurations, and to have dimensioned columns and grid lines with few clicks. It's very simple sample actually, but you can use it for more than just single column or couple of grid lines. Alright, now I have a few more abilities to show to you, and I want to... Alright, so let's come back to this one. And here I want to show you how we can import Excel data into Revit, like in a very simple way, just selecting the Excel file, and then we selecting spreadsheets which we want to import into Excel. So simply just draw a table, and all this information is imported into Revit project. Alright, now they should be under the drafting view. Yeah, so here we have this wall element table, we have this table, and we have also this huge table which I imported using Smart Documentation Toolset ability, Legends and Data. Alright, now we are going back to where we began, and what I want to show you here is QR code generator. QR and barcode generator, sorry. So we can generate codes, for example, for walls. We can generate for many kind of different elements, but in this case I'll pick walls, select image instance, and now I can choose any kind of parameters which would reflect on my created barcode. And I have this filtering also, so I will have all the barcodes generated for walls which equals to 2.8 meters. So I'm gonna press OK. Codes are generated. Now for me to see those codes, I need to drag out QR code schedule, which I've created before, and it's right here. I believe it's this one. No, it's not the right one. Maybe it's... Alright, I have many of these schedules. Anyway, I'm gonna just jump into the 3D view. And yeah, I'll select this wall. And I need to find image. Alright, so here we have these images generated. Yeah, if you would scan one of this image, you would see all the necessary information about the wall element which you want to see. with predefined configurations. Alright, so I'm gonna press OK for now. And that would be it for Revit. So we are going back to the PowerPoint presentation. So to summarize, Smart Documentation Tool is intended to boost workflow efficiency, and it's designed for architects, MEP, and structural engineers to prepare the necessary documentation like shop drawings, floor plans, element drawings, and etc. It's a very flexible tool. Smart Documentation drastically decreases error and workflow amount. Tool is super flexible, having a huge variety to generate different standard drawings. So how you can work more efficiently, you can visit our aga-cad Smart Documentation Toolset page, which you see in the screen. And I encourage you to try a trial for 2 weeks. During this trial, you can always contact us. You can always ask for questions. We will guide you how you can solve configurations. Also, we're open to develop our tools adapting to your needs, or implement your ideas. Depends like if there is a solution for your case or not. We are always looking how we can help you to boost your workflow and to get rid of a tedious workflow in your daily tasks. Thank you all for attending. I hope this webinar was useful for you, and have a nice day.
aga-cad, building BIM together.